All right, golf fans, welcome back to another episode of Fairways and Dreams. If you're watching live on YouTube, or maybe if it just sounds a little different, it's because we're on location today. We are down in Virginia, and I'm at my brother's house, and that's who's joining me today. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to be here. Now, I titled this one, interestingly, My Worthy Adversary, because my brother Jay is 3 years older than me. I've always looked up to him, and we've always had some really awesome, at least, some great competition on the golf course. Do you always view that the same way, or do you kind of view me as that little brother that won't go away?
Definitely more competitive now, I feel.
Okay.
I think back in the day, kind of owned you.
Yeah.
But these days, it's much more competitive.
Okay. Now, your history with the game, you golfed like I did growing up. Dad taught us both how to golf. What would be your favorite or your best memory of early on in your golf life? So we'll say upwards to high school.
Well, as Dad even mentioned on his show, witnessing him get a hole-in-one with Grandpa was absolutely amazing. It's one of those things that you'll never forget, even as young as you were.
How old were you when that happened, roughly?
Maybe 10.
Okay. That's old enough to remember. That's old enough to remember, yeah.
But that was awesome. And then obviously getting my own hole-in-one.
Which every time I play that hole, I think of that. Like I'm like, this is the hole Jay got his hole-in-one on. And that's a really difficult par 3.
Yes.
Where you were playing the whites, yes?
Yes.
Now, for those that might be familiar with Ogilvy Park in Wheeling, West Virginia, this was the Robert Trent Jones design, number 11.
Right.
Tees were down.
Yep.
How far was it roughly?
I think I hit 9 iron, so maybe like 140, something like
downhill.
That. Yeah.
And do you remember, it wasn't a slam dunk?
No, it hit back behind a cup.
And spun back?
Yeah.
Nice. I still search for my own, but I'm happy that you got yours. So what about recent memories? So if your own hole-in-one, seeing Dad get his first hole-in-one were your older memories. What about recently? What are maybe some of your best memories of golf recently?
Best memories are obviously anytime we can all get together and play.
Right.
As a family, that's always amazing. No matter what you shoot, how you play, it's always fun. Most recently, though, I think it was a couple years ago on our Fort Cherry golf trip. I shot 69.
That's right. You joined the 60 club.
The first time I've ever broken 70. That was pretty memorable.
Did you ever break 70 at Crispin?
I don't think so.
No.
Much
easier,
of course.
I know. All right, very good. So I know you don't play as much as you'd like, but what's your current handicap?
I think last time I looked, I think maybe 7.6 or something like that.
That's right about me.
Yeah, something like
that. If you think, and I think about this often because neither of us play as much as we would like to. If you really practiced, like you actually went and like worked on your game, short game, driver, whatever, how low of a handicap do you think you could go?
Not much lower than him, right?
Really?
I don't think so. Maybe a 6. I'm not.
I bet you could get down to like a 4 or 5.
No,
you don't think so? I think you could. What do you think is the biggest obstacle for you to play? Let's do 2 ways. What would be the biggest obstacle for you not getting your handicap down to where I suggested, like 4 to 5? And also, what's your biggest obstacle from playing as much as maybe you would like?
The biggest obstacle I find not playing as much is it's a more short game.
Yeah.
The touch and feel shots.
Okay.
But as we've talked before, it's that 60 to 70 yard shot in that just gives me fits. And I think that's one where if you play more often, you kind of get a feel for that shot.
Those are the shots that when I stand over this, so let's say I'm in the fairway, everything's been perfect. It's a par 5, you got 60 yards in. I say to myself, all right, Jeff, good players stick this tight. And I miss the green. I'm like, damn it.
You're not a good player.
That's what I tell myself. I'm not that good. But what about what's the biggest obstacle for you to actually go out and golf though?
Just finding the time. Honestly, I mean, I've got a 9 to 5 job. I also try to work in gym time, you know, and you got stuff to do around the house and the yard. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of people that play down here in Richmond with me. So there's never that like, hey, come out and play 9 holes with me or kind of thing. It's always usually by myself or trying to find random people. So
that is we have different lives in that regard. With me with the 5 kids, you have a job that obviously takes up a lot of time. It doesn't leave you as much freedom to do stuff like during the day. But I think you and I both struggle with finding like a good group of people that have, I guess you would say similar lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we think back to Dad, his golf buddies, like they all just worked like jobs where when the whistle blew, they were done and they were at the golf course and they were playing. Like it just isn't always feasible.
But he has a pool of about 20 guys that he can pull from to scrounge up, a couple foursomes for an afternoon or whatever. Whereas, it's
Oh, and especially since we used to golf a lot when you lived in Northern Virginia, but then when you moved, that changed not only for you but for me as well. But now I want to bring back when you lived in Northern Virginia. You at one point attempted to become a teaching pro, and you had to do the what were the stipulations to get past that physical part of the test? You remember what the regulations were? Or
so
what the requirements, I should say.
It's called the player assessment test, and it's 1 day, 36 holes. They basically take the slope of the course and add, I think, 10 shots to it.
Okay.
And you have to shoot that or better over those 36 holes. And for the course that I played, Clustered Spires in Frederick, Maryland, it equated to basically shooting roughly 75-75, I think, for both rounds.
That's tough.
It's tough, but it's doable.
It is, yeah.
They put the pins on flat surfaces. There's nothing, crazy. They don't tuck pins in hard positions. They make the course as manageable and accessible as possible. And you just got to have the,
and they play no matter what, right? It's pouring down rain. Like you're going out there and playing.
Yeah. And if you blow up on that first 18, that makes that second 18 that much tougher.
Were the conditions good when you took the test?
Beautiful.
And what did you shoot in the first 18? Do you remember?
I think the first 18, I shot like an 82 or an 83 and immediately said,
that's tough.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And I think the second 18 just kind of played not really caring. I think I shot 78. So I played better.
Yeah.
But just not near where I need to be.
Now, the desire to become a teaching pro at that time in your life, was that just something to do? Or did you actually want to go that route?
I think I wanted to do something in sports first foremost, but then also I thought the golf industry would be kind of fun to be in. I don't know if I wanted to be a teaching pro, but it's figured, let's give it a shot, see what happens, what I can shoot, you never know kind of thing. And
did you ever consider taking the test again? Not now, but after you did it the first time?
No, I think that was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
I get it.
I could have worked on my game and maybe gotten there, but
that's tough. I mean, 75-75 for the person that doesn't, anyone that's a golfer out there. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're thinking like, shoot, that would be difficult to do back-to-back rounds. It's not like, okay, Friday I have to shoot 75 and Saturday I come back and I have to shoot another 75. You're playing 36 holes in one day. That's difficult. All right. I want to talk about your new golf clubs.
Okay.
Because you got fitted for golf clubs and you are like me. You get golf clubs, you keep your golf clubs. You had the hand-me-down Tommy Armour 845 Silver Scots from Dad.
Yep.
And then those came to me when you got your Ping I3s. Okay, your Ping I3s, which weren't even yours. They were the pro at Crest Creek Country Club in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Anyone that knows these courses, congratulations. But you had those forever. Now, Tim, this is the pro at the time at Crest Creek. Weren't they tailored for him?
Yes.
So length, degree of loft, and all that stuff was tinkered with a little bit.
Yeah.
So walk me through the whole process of when you went to wherever you went, doesn't matter, and you were getting fitted for your golf clubs. What is the first thing they did?
So shout out Club Champion. That's where I went to get fitted through the advice of a coworker. And you can basically sign up for a full bag fitting. You can just do drivers and woods. You can do irons. You can do wedges. You can do putter. They'll do the whole bag, whatever you want. It was nice. They broke it up into different days because you were hitting a lot of golf balls.
Okay.
So that, first one you're doing drivers. I mean,
are you actually on a range or are you?
No, it's all like TrackMan inside kind of thing, but they're tracking, ball speed, swing speed, launch angle, smash factor, all the
smash factor.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. The millions of different, they're all the readouts, but you're trying all different clubs, all different shafts, and very, very tiring. So we did drivers and 3 woods one day, we did irons another day, and then I did wedges another day. And I highly recommend it. I think it's good to be fitted for a set of clubs if you're actually serious about playing golf, as opposed to just buying off the rack, Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know, you might need a half-inch longer clubs than what just stock
So
are.
what did you find? Like, did you find that the clubs that you had been using were too short? Did you need your clubs been more upright? Like, what did they tell you?
So basically, the clubs I was hitting were similar to what I ended up getting there in terms of degree angle and length and all that stuff. It's just they were newer, more forgiving,
right?
Just newer technology, basically. I can hit them about 10 yards farther at least each iron than I was before.
What did you end up getting?
So I got a Tyler TS 3 wood, TaylorMade P790 irons, TaylorMade wedges. And I still have my old ping putter.
Now you went into that not with a brand in mind. Like, you didn't go to a TaylorMade rep and say, I'm looking for irons. This was just, they said that these clubs would be best for you, or that these would be one of many options. And you looked at them and said, I like the way that looks at a dress. Like, did they give you options? Or what?
100%. First they say if there's any specific club you want to hit. And I told them, I said, I am not brand specific. I don't have any loyalties to a certain brand. I said, I'll just hit whatever. Yeah. And they just start feeding you clubs. You hit them, and it's basically how it feels, and also the numbers you're getting. So you might narrow it down to a couple clubs where you're getting the same readings, and then it becomes which one feels better. Right. So they leave it up to you to decide, but you kind of get an idea of what you want.
So were there any other clubs that were close in terms of how when you came to the TaylorMades, was there another club? Like, obviously Dad's big with Callaway. Was there a Callaway club or anything like that?
I don't remember Callaway. There was a Strixon iron that I hit. And when you caught that flush, man, it was like butter.
It's pure.
It was great.
So would you say it's worth it?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. If you can afford it.
Yes.
Because it's not cheap. No. Now, you'll probably have those clubs for the rest of your life.
Probably at this rate.
Okay. I mean, I got my Cleveland CG2s. Let's date myself. I think they're like CG20 something now. In 2005 as a college graduation gift. And I haven't changed them at all.
I was on 20 years with that thing I3, so I didn't change very often.
So you bring up like smash factor and stuff. What's your take on these analytics and like technology in golf? I mean, maybe these things existed and I didn't know about it, but we always heard about swing speed, right? The club head speed was going to dictate what kind of shaft you had in your golf club. Super. When you're hitting the golf balls in the simulator, did that mean anything? You're like, this is just a bunch of BS.
I wish they don't show you those, because I feel like you start chasing numbers, right?
Okay.
So they tell you, hey, the pros have an average swing speed or a ball speed of X. So you now are trying to get after it to try to get your, where you don't need to be doing that.
Right.
So I think for the pros, that's, but I think for the amateur, that's stuff you really don't need to know.
No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, what is a smash factor? What does that even mean?
I don't remember what he said. It had something to do with club head speed and ball speed divided by.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this is happening in all sports. I mean, when you look at baseball, like when a guy hits a home run, they're like, that had an exit velocity of.
Yeah,
it's kind of reminds me of Major League. Like, too high, too hard. Who cares? It's gone. Like, what the hell are we talking about?
Right.
So some of the times when they see. When I see in golf, like you're watching the PGA Tour and like, oh, the velocity, this is like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a feel guy. So I guess that makes sense. What about other technology in golf though? Like, what's your take on things like range finders, or do you kind of sometimes wish it went back to the old school days where you had to find a sprinkler head or the 150 in the middle of the fairway and walk it off?
So I was just, I mean, that is old school, and that's the way we grew up playing. I think the GPS watches, stuff you clip on your bags, I think it maybe speeds up the game.
I agree with that.
So you're not having to go try to find a sprinkler head with you just look on your bag. All right, I got 160 to the front or 175 middle, and you just go from there. So I'm fine with that technology, and I use it and like it.
Before we move on from the golf clubs, do you think that, like, so let's say there's someone who's a lawyer. I'm thinking of a very lucrative job at this point, and they suck at golf. And they're going to go get fit. At some point, they have to just work on their swing, right? I mean, at some point, you could get the best gloves in the world
100%.
That are fit perfectly for you. But your swing's always been good. Like, is the biggest difference that you've noticed in these new clubs is just the forgiveness factor and not so much the fact that they were fitted for you?
Forgiveness and length. I think those are the two biggest things. The newer clubs, the ball definitely flies farther than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
just wait till they roll it back in 20 years.
Right.
All right. I know you've listened to the podcast. Rapid fire time. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first question I always ask, if you actually had the choice, what would you do, ride or walk?
I would choose to walk. However, like the new accoutrements of golf, the golf coolers, the speakers, that kind of inhibits walking. I guess you could clip speakers to your bag.
Would you ever use a push cart?
Yes.
You would?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do enjoy walking.
Yeah. Because a push cart, a lot of them have like places where you can put coolers.
Yeah, just kick it old school.
All right, spring or fall golf, you had to choose.
So I know a lot of people, everyone on here says spring. I love fall golf. I understand the leaves.
That sucks.
But there's something about the leaves changing, the crisp and cool air. It reminds me of playing at Wheeling Country Club back in the day in the fall. And I love playing in the fall.
So let's say you have a shot around the green. And it's not one of those where the situation dictates what kind of shot you're going to hit. So it's not like I have to go over a bunker. Like it's just open run. You could bump and run it or you can flop it. How are you playing the shot?
I'm not very good with the bump and run. I think we kind of grew up in the era of taking the 56 out no matter where you are around the green and just trying to get that's just not me.
All right, now you've kind of been prepped for this from our dad, but if you had a walk-up song, so think about baseball players, you're going up to number 1 tee, now on the tee. Jay Hartman, what song is playing?
I've been thinking about this a lot. It's tough because at some point I kind of want a little juice going up there, feeling pretty,
for sure.
But at the same time, you get a little amped up going in there, and then
the duck hook comes out.
So I think I would still stick with E Street Shuffle by Bruce Springsteen.
But I'm not shocked.
As you know, big Bruce fan.
Absolutely.
But I love that song.
Okay. What's your favorite ball to play? I think I know this, but
I'm a Pro V1 guy, probably first and foremost, but I'm not opposed to a Callaway Chrome Soft or TaylorMade.
Those TPS balls are nice.
Yeah. I definitely have more Pro Vs in my bag than anything
for sure. Let's say that you had to pick 3 celebrities, and that could be in any realm, to round out a foursome that you get to choose. Who are you having in your celebrity?
3 celebrities?
Yeah.
I'm going to have...
Dead or alive, by
the way. Okay. Bill Murray.
Okay, that's a good one.
Ray Romano. And what other celebrity golfer?
It could be like a PGA Pro if you wanted.
Well, I guess they're a celebrity or whatever, but I'm going to go non-golfer just to make it fun. And we'll go Bob Hope.
Nice.
I'm going to go 3 funny guys.
It would be enjoyable.
Yeah.
It would definitely be enjoyable. What do you think is the worst rule in the game of golf?
So they fixed it since then, but the not being able to tap down spike marks on the green.
Yeah.
So you're lining up a putt, and just because some guy dragged his foot, leaving the green, especially back when it had metal spikes.
Yeah.
You weren't able to fix that back then, and it tapped those down.
Well, isn't
good? I just think that's not fair to you as the golfer coming behind someone that's leaving spike marks all over the place.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if you're on the fringe and you're putting the ball, you can't fix spike marks on the green, can you?
Nowadays,
in competitive play, I think you have to be on the putting surface to be able to do that. That is a stupid rule.
I mean,
so since that's been fixed, is there anything else that you hate about the rules of golf?
No, I mean, just like watching the other day in Hawaii, Jordan Spieth hits his ball and he ends up in this massive divot from some other guy, and he's kind of shit out of luck.
Yeah,
that's frustrating. Nice if you could replace that or mark it.
Are joggers acceptable on a golf course?
No, they're not. I'm old school, man.
What do you think about some of these new golf trends in terms of attire? Some of these golf shirts, a lot of guys never tuck in their shirt now. That's kind of acceptable now. The shirts are really bright. It almost feels like it's going back into the 1990s, late 80s with some of these styles and stuff like that. What's your take on that?
I have no problem with the colors, the styles. If it's got a collar on it, that's...
So you don't even like the mocks?
I'm okay with mocks. I mean, Tiger made those big, of course.
Yes, he did.
I'm not sure about the hoodies. I don't understand them, really. That's my big thing. Are you putting your hood up at any point in the golf? If not, why are we having hoods?
It's a style thing. Golf has become a lot about style. It's always been about style. I mean, golfers go back to Payne Stewart when he used to wear the knickers and stuff. Like it brought him attention. It gave him notoriety.
I think very few were about style. If you look at the majority, it's all khakis and a golf shirt.
Well, back then, yeah. Well, remember Payne Stewart used to be sponsored by the NFL? And he would wear the NFL gear
whatever city he was in.
Yeah. So we used to always see him at the NEC in Akron. He'd always have Browns for a day. So we saw him in the Steelers, I think, one time.
Yeah.
All right. If you could choose, I know the answer of how you hit the ball. If you could choose, though, how your ball flies on a consistent basis, would you rather play a fade over a draw?
No.
So you still like to draw?
I love to draw the ball. I hate hooking the ball. So there's a.
I love fading the ball, but I can't stand slicing the ball.
If I can hit that little like a baby draw, I love seeing that ball fly.
Well, you've worked the ball more left to right than I've ever seen you recently.
It's accidental.
No, it's not always intentional. All right. What is one thing you'd like to change about your game, if anything?
I mean, I think it's just consistency. Knowing when I step up to the tee, the ball is going to go here, or at least it's not going to miss by much. That and like we talked about earlier, the 60 to 80 yard wedge game. Like if I could get that dialed in, that would definitely, I feel like, shave strokes off the game. For sure.
All right, last one for you here. If you have to step up let's say it's an extra hole and you have a big drive, or if it's a huge 10-foot putt, what are you more confident in, hitting the fairway or sinking the putt?
Sinking the putt.
All right, yeah.
And I'm not even that good of a putter, but I feel like just the nerves on the tee box, I think, that's tough to do.
I do have one more. I just thought of this.
Right.
At what age will you get a hybrid?
Never. I will die with nothing but a driver, 3-wood and irons.
Our dad is literally over there laughing.
All right, but I know this is normally how you end this, but I got some rapid fire questions
for
you. Is this allowed?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Right. Pebble or St. Andrews? Both are public courses. You can play either one of them if you got the dough. Next week, you got to pick one. Which one you playing?
So airfare, all that stuff.
Money is not an issue.
St. Andrews.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I just think St. Andrews, like I feel like I know that course just from watching it way more than I do Pebble. Like Pebble has those iconic holes, but I feel like St. Andrews, whether it's the road hole or that awesome, 1 and 18 fairway that are split, they're shared, I should say. Yeah, I just think it'd be also cool just to go and play that style of golf course and have a caddy that's helping you get around the course and stuff. It would be tough as hell, but I think it would be fun. What about you? What about you? You went there. You just didn't get to play it. But
I didn't get to play it, but went to St. Andrews and saw it. It's amazing. Got to go on the course. Got to go on the bridge on 18. And it was fantastic. I think, though, if I had the choice of being able to play one or the other, I think I'd play Pebble.
Okay.
Just because of the views. I mean, I feel like it's just.
Is there a wrong answer, though?
All right. So, second question, and it kind of goes back to what I was going to ask you, your dream foursome.
Celebrity?
Anybody.
Oh, okay. My wife actually asked me about this the other day. So I would want
dead or alive. Anyway.
Okay. I would want Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett's a golf.
Does he play golf?
He did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Golf shoes on the hood of the car making tracks. Like he used to. I love afternoon golf. That's actually in his lyrics. So he does golf. He's not good, but he'd probably tell a lot of funny stories. Okay. I love Freddie Couples to be in that group because again, he's going to tell some crazy stories. And I don't know. There's a part of me that would want to have someone like an athlete in there. So maybe
Jordan.
No, he's way too better. Maybe someone like Ben Roethlisberger, a Steeler fan. Okay. Like he's a decent golfer, but I would kind of get a little bit of everything. I'd be able to talk to the pro, the guy that I like his music the most, and then also like one of the favorite athletes growing up. So there you go.
Gosh, so Dad and I are not in this foursome at all.
I thought it was just
Next question. Who wins in a fist fight? Jordan Spieth or Justin Thomas?
Spieth has the size and length, I feel like. Yeah, probably Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth's whiny. I don't know. So, we'll go with JT.
I kind of agree. They're both very skinny. I don't think they've ever been in a fight in their life. and I think it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think JT's got a little bit more fire.
I feel like you're right.
But
I'll go with JT. I change my answer.
All right. Last one. And every parent says this is not true, but which of your kids is your favorite?
I'll go with my favorite son is Will. And the dog, anytime I have 5 kids, those that listen know, they always say, who's your favorite? And I always say the dog.
You didn't have to.
I always name the dog. The daughters, they're all equal. So there you go.
No,
So all right. Well, hey, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. For those that are listening, Fairways and Dreams will be back next on Thursday, I guess, for another episode. In the meantime, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Had fun.
See ya.